In the late 1990s, rural electric co-ops were on the verge of a crisis. Massive population growth led to skyrocketing demand for energy, and with power generation controlled by a handful of large companies, that meant the price for electricity skyrocketed during peak hours. It was not unusual for a co-op's cost for power to jump from a few $100s to $4,000 per megawatt during the peak of summer. For leaders at Grady EMC, it came down to a choice: continue to be at the mercy of drastic price swings that they had to pass on to members, or find a way to build their own generating plant. In 1999, we partnered with 3-Notch EMC to bring the Sawega Baconton plant online, providing tremendous benefits to our members. How does the Sawega Baconton facility benefit our members? First of all, it lowers the cost for members. During demand peaks, we pay what it costs to generate the power, not what the market is charging. Market rates are sometimes 10 times our cost to generate. Second, having a generation plant offers protection for our members who know they have a nearby generation source when demand is high. Lastly, the Sawega Baconton facility provides long-term reliability. The energy switch is controlled locally, so actions can be swift and certain. Planning, developing, and launching a generation source requires industry knowledge, careful planning, and strategic vision. This planning and outside-the-box thinking allows our members to have some of the lowest rates and highest reliability in the state.
So I used to be in the U.S. Navy, worked on gas turbines. Got out of the Navy and went to work for a company called Stewart & Stevenson, which was ultimately purchased by GE. They make the packages and the turbines that are here at this facility. I was a field service engineer for them for quite a few years, started up a lot of power plants, and I came here to start this power plant up in 1999. Sawega Power was the first 2 units that went in. It's a 96 megawatt power plant. It's got 2 LM6000 gas turbines. In 2000, Baconton Power started up. That has 4 units, which is 194 megawatts. Uses the same GE LM6000 PCs. And that's when I came here in '99 to start up the first 2 Sawega units. And then I continued on here and ultimately became the plant manager of this facility. They call them aeroderivative gas turbines. I mean, it's derived from the aircraft engine. So the core engine is the aircraft engine that you would see on the wing of a 747. And they've just industrialized it, put it in a package, and connected to a generator. These units here are dual fuel. The primary is natural gas. The alternative fuel would be number 2 diesel.
The plant is a natural gas pipeline operator. Our gas comes from Kinder Morgan. We have about 2 miles of pipe before it comes here. And this is the skid that takes mainline pressure at about 1,000 and reduces it down to 675 PSI for the turbine itself. The skid also can filters it, and it can also heat the gas in the winter if need be. Okay, so this is the GE LM6000. It's a 2-shaft machine. These are variable bleed valve doors. This is a dual fuel engine, so you got a natural gas manifold, which is right here, and then a liquid fuel manifold. Each unit has its own breaker, and then the admin building, where the control room is at, and water treatment is fed off one, which is split between the 2 plants on a 1/3, 2/3 basis. On this back wall here is all the Grady EMC service meters that the plant purchases its power from Grady EMC.
I think it was the right decision to make. I think that it has benefited Grady. The peaking power became scarce. Followed the laws of supply and demand. It became very expensive because there wasn't very much of it. So back in the 97, 98 time frame, it was not unusual at all for a company that had to go to the markets to cover their peaking requirement to be paying thousands of dollars per megawatt hour to get that covered. We saw $4,000 a megawatt hour. One way to get control of that is to have an asset. If you own an asset rather than relying on a contract, then you have the ability to pay the dollars per megawatt hour that you pay are based on the cost to produce those megawatts, not on a market that is basically disconnected from the cost of the power. The markets truly were, you got what you could get. It also provides a big, almost like an insurance policy for Grady and 3 Notch, because it does buffer them from the markets, which aren't cost-based. The markets are based on, people are going to get whatever they can get.
Today, this plant is maintained year-round and is a vital source of energy for the region whenever demand is high, or peaks, as we say in the power business. Building a top EMC doesn't happen overnight. For decades, residents in Thomas, Grady, and Decatur counties have enjoyed exceptional reliability and prices. This requires hard work every day by hundreds of employees and careful planning every year by a dedicated board. At Grady EMC, we're proud to serve our members every day. If you have any questions about Grady EMC or our practices, please feel free to visit www.gradyemc.net or www.gradyemcfacts.com.